Welcome to Tales for Talking, where English learning comes alive. Hey there, English learners! Tired of the same old studying methods that leave you feeling stuck? Well, you're in for a treat today. We're about to embark on a journey that'll transform the way you learn English, and trust me, this isn't your typical grammar lesson. Ever wondered how some people seem to pick up English so naturally while you're still struggling with textbooks and flashcards? That's exactly what we're diving into today. We've packed this episode with game-changing techniques that you can start using right now, even if you're studying all by yourself. Here's what makes this episode special. We're presenting everything in two different ways. First, you'll hear the natural, colorful English that native speakers use every day. Yes, including those tricky idioms you hear in movies and podcasts. Then, we'll break it down into simpler English so you can follow along perfectly. It's like having a personal translator and English coach right in your ears. In the next minutes, you'll discover clever tricks to supercharge your listening skills, how to learn vocabulary without memorizing lists, why talking to yourself in English might be your secret weapon, the smart way to use subtitles. Hint, you might be doing it wrong. Plus, tons of practical tips you can use today. And the best part? By the end of this episode, you'll understand every single idiom and expression we use. No more feeling lost when native speakers use phrases like spill the tea or knock your socks off. So grab your favorite beverage, find a comfy spot, and get ready to level up your English in the most natural and enjoyable way possible. Let's dive right in.
Level up your English, smart tips for real progress.
Hey there, language enthusiasts. Boy, do I have some game-changing tips to share with you today. You know how everyone's always banging on about flashcards? Well, I'm here to spill the tea on some different approaches that'll knock your socks off.
Hello, everyone. What my colleague means is that today we'll discuss some very effective methods to improve your English that don't rely on traditional memorization techniques.
First off, let's dive into the nitty-gritty of boosting your listening skills. The trick is to keep your ears peeled and really tune in to what you're hearing. No more letting that podcast be background noise while you're scrolling through social media.
The first important point is about improving listening comprehension. We need to practice active listening, which means giving our full attention to what we're hearing instead of just having it play in the background.
Here's a killer tip. When you're watching your favorite shows, don't just slap on those subtitles and call it a day. Start with English subs first, then gradually wean yourself off them. It's like taking the training wheels off your bike.
When watching shows or movies, try this method. Begin by using English subtitles to help you understand, then slowly reduce your reliance on them as your comprehension improves.
Now here's something that's totally worth its weight in gold, keeping a journal in English. It's not rocket science, folks. Just jot down your daily thoughts, and before you know it, you'll be thinking in English without breaking a sweat.
Writing a daily journal in English is very helpful. It helps you practice expressing your thoughts naturally in English and builds your writing confidence.
When it comes to picking up new vocab, context is king. Instead of hitting the books hard, Try to be a word detective. When you spot an unfamiliar word, take a good look at how it's being used in the wild.
For learning new vocabulary, focus on understanding how words are used in real situations rather than memorizing them in isolation. Pay attention to the words and phrases around them.
And here's the real kicker: you've got to stick with it. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is your English prowess. Keep at it, and you'll be shooting the breeze like a native speaker before you can say Jack Robinson.
Consistency is key to success in language learning. Regular practice, even if it's just a little each day, will help you improve steadily over time.
Let's talk about a real game changer: shadowing. Get this. You basically become an echo of native speakers. Pop in those earbuds, find a great podcast or audiobook, and mirror what you hear like you're their twin. It's a total blast.
Shadowing is a technique where you listen to English audio and repeat what you hear immediately after the speaker. It helps improve your pronunciation and speaking rhythm.
Here's another trick up my sleeve: voice recording. Most folks wouldn't be caught dead listening to their own voice, but trust me, it's pure gold for spotting those pesky mistakes that slip through the cracks.
Recording yourself speaking English and listening back to it can help you identify mistakes in pronunciation and grammar that you might not notice while speaking.
And get this: why not kill two birds with one stone by talking to yourself in English while doing chores? Give your inner monologue an English makeover. Describe what you're cooking, what you're watching, or even what that crazy neighbor's cat is up to.
Practice speaking English alone by describing your daily activities out loud. This helps make English a natural part of your everyday thinking process.
Now, here's something that's right up your alley: using music to level up your English. Don't just bob your head to the beat, dive deep into those lyrics. It's like getting a language lesson gift wrapped in your favorite tunes.
Learning English through songs is very effective. Look up the lyrics, try to understand their meaning, and sing along to improve your pronunciation and vocabulary.
And speaking of tech-savvy ways to learn, why not jump on the AI chatbot bandwagon? These digital buddies are available 24/7s, and they won't give you the cold shoulder when you make mistakes. It's like having a patient friend who never runs out of steam.
Using AI language practice tools can be very helpful because they allow you to practice conversation anytime you want, and they can help correct your mistakes in a supportive way.
Let's not forget about the power of thinking on your feet. Try describing what you see during your daily commute or while people watching at a cafe. If you hit a wall with vocabulary, use your phone to look it up on the spot. That's how you turn dead time into golden learning opportunities.
Practice describing your surroundings and what you observe during your daily activities. When you don't know a word, look it up immediately. This helps build your practical vocabulary.
Last but not least, get your hands on some graded readers. They're like training wheels for your reading skills. Not too easy, not too hard, just right to keep you in the sweet spot of learning. Before you know it, you'll be tackling Harry Potter without breaking a sweat.
Graded readers are books written specifically for language learners at different levels. They help you build reading confidence and vocabulary gradually, making the learning process more enjoyable.
Remember, folks, learning English isn't about going from zero to hero overnight. It's about taking baby steps that add up to giant leaps. Keep your eyes on the prize and don't throw in the towel when the going gets tough.
Remember that progress in language learning is gradual. Small, consistent efforts every day will lead to significant improvements over time. Stay motivated and don't give up when you face challenges. Now let's break down the colorful idioms and expressions used in our presentation.
Breaking down the language, understanding today's idioms. Spill the tea. This modern slang phrase means to share important information or gossip. While it originally came from dragball culture, it's now widely used to mean share the latest news or information. Knock your socks off. When something will really impress or amaze you. In our context, we used it to say our learning methods will really impress you with their effectiveness. Keep your ears peeled. A variation of keep your eyes peeled, meaning to listen very carefully and attentively. It's often used when asking someone to be especially alert or watchful, or in our case, to listen actively. Nitty-gritty. The most important aspects or practical details of a matter. When we said dive into the nitty-gritty, we meant getting into the essential details of improving listening skills. Worth its weight in gold, extremely valuable or useful. We used this to emphasize how valuable keeping an English journal can be for language learning. Shooting the breeze. To have a casual, relaxed conversation about unimportant things. It's often used to describe natural flowing conversation between friends. Before you can say Jack Robinson. Very quickly or in a very short time. This old phrase emphasizes speed, though its origin is unclear. Game changer. Something that significantly changes a situation or process. In our context, we used it to describe techniques that can dramatically improve your English learning. Trick up my sleeve. A secret plan or hidden advantage. When we say, here's another trick up my sleeve, we're introducing another helpful tip that people might not know about. Wouldn't be caught dead, would never do something because it would be too embarrassing. We used it to describe how many people feel about listening to recordings of their own voice. Kill two birds with one stone. To accomplish two objectives with a single action. We used this to describe how talking to yourself in English while doing chores helps you practice English while completing necessary tasks. Right up your alley. Something that matches someone's interests or abilities perfectly. When we said something that's right up your alley, we meant learning English through music would be something you'd enjoy. Give someone the cold shoulder. To ignore someone or treat them in an unfriendly way. We used this when talking about AI chatbots, saying they won't reject or ignore you when you make mistakes. Hit a wall. To reach a point where you can't make any more progress. In our context, we used it to describe the moment when you can't think of the right word in English. Zero to hero. From being unsuccessful to being very successful. We use this in isn't about going from zero to hero overnight to emphasize that language learning takes time. Throw in the towel. To give up, to admit defeat. This expression comes from boxing, where throwing a towel into the ring signals surrender. We used it to encourage listeners not to give up on their English learning journey. Keep your eyes on the prize. To stay focused on your goal. We used this to encourage learners to maintain their focus on their ultimate goal of English fluency. These idioms add color and authenticity to English speech, and understanding them will help you both comprehend native speakers better and express yourself more naturally. Remember, while you don't need to use all these idioms yourself, recognizing them will help you understand native speakers in real-world situations.
Hey there, amazing learners! We're wrapping up today's episode, and wow, what a journey we've been on. Before you go, let me share something straight from the heart. Remember that day when you first decided to learn English? That spark of excitement, that dream of speaking fluently? Well, that dream is still very much alive, and you're closer to it than you think. Every podcast you listen to, every show you watch, every little conversation you have with yourself in English, they're all stepping stones on your path to fluency. You know what's really cool? The methods we've shared today aren't just tips and tricks. They're your toolkit for transformation. Whether you're cooking dinner, waiting for the bus, or just chilling at home, you now have the power to turn any moment into an English learning opportunity. Before we say goodbye, here's your simple action plan for this week. Pick just one of the techniques we discussed today. Try it for 7 days straight. Share your experience in the comments below. Come back next week for more exciting language learning adventures. Remember, learning English isn't a sprint. It's more like dancing. Sometimes you'll step forward, sometimes back. But as long as you keep moving, you're creating something beautiful. See you next week with another episode packed with practical tips and fun learning strategies. Until then, keep talking, keep listening, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself. This is Jessica from Tales for Talking, reminding you that every word you learn is a new story waiting to be told. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated with our weekly episodes. And hey, if you found this helpful, share it with a friend who's also on their English learning journey. Stay curious, stay motivated, and keep talking. Catch you next time.